Welcome back to WigginsTV, y'all. Man, we about to get into one of my favoriteest rappers, man. I done mentioned BG and C Murder, but today we gonna touch on the legendary Mac Dre. And you know what? Today we gonna talk about the snitch and the snitching that took down his label, Thizz Entertainment. Mac Dre is a super underrated artist, man. It's so crazy because he even had white people and snow bunnies that loved him. Everybody loved him. Every race. I don't care what race you was, bro. Everybody loved him, bro. You see white people with snow bunnies at the front row of his concerts, know every word. For those of y'all who's not familiar with Mac Dre, in simple terms, he was a California legend, a West Coast king, a Bay Area icon. And without a doubt in my mind, if he wanted to, and if he was still alive, he would have been a part of Mount Westmore with Ice Cube and Snoop and them. Just for a quick history, Mac Dre grew up in Vallejo, California, which is the Bay Area. But he was born in Oakland. Not by choice, he grew up in the 1980s crack era. He began rapping at an early age under the name MC Dre, later changing it to Mac Dre after being influenced by the Pimpalicious movie Goldie the Mac and releasing his debut album, Young Black Brother, which didn't get much major attention, but was basically a local success. But the feds accused him of using his rap label as a front. So the police alleged, not WigginsTV, the police alleged that Mac Dre was part of a group called a Romper Room from the country club Crest in Vallejo. And they used to rob pizza parlors, they say, to raise money to fund a record label called Romper Room Records or something like that. And they had an explosion of rap music and crack cocaine. Many members was put behind bars as police locked in on rap lyrics detailing and glorifying their robberies, including allegedly Mac Dre, who in 1992 got a 7-year prison sentence. Allegedly, once he was released, Mac Dre formed Thizz Entertainment. The word Thizz derived from the feeling one feels while on MDMA, aka ecstasy, allegedly. The label blew up and put the Bay Area on a nationwide rap spotlight. Some describe these years as a resurgence of having national attention refocusing on the Bay Area in Northern California. He had hits like Thizzle Dance, Go Stupid, and Feeling Myself, just to name a few. As Mac Dre and his label's popularity soared, he went on tour, performing at many different venues, some even outside of Cali. One particular show was at a Kansas City club, November 1st, 2004. Unfortunately, as he left that club in a van, he was killed in a hail of gunfire. For political purposes, we not going to discuss the parties that police suspected was involved in this case. Rest in peace, Mac Dre, a.k.a. Ronald Reagan, a.k.a. the Furley Ghost, man. If that wasn't bad enough, 4 years after Mac Dre died, the feds doubled back and hit Thizz Entertainment, his label, with an indictment. This time claiming they was using the record label as a front again. Wow. Them suckers is heartless. I can't stand they behind. Here's how they allegedly thought they was able to pin the case on these rappers from Thizz Entertainment. First up, Miami, aka Miami the Most, was one of the first indicted. Now, he wasn't a rapper, more like a producer, but he could be heard on Mac Dre Cutthroat Committee Turf Buccaneers album as a game spitter who used to talk that slick-ish in the background. Miami was close friends with Mac Dre and was with him when he died. Feds say he took over Thizz Entertainment after his friend's death and produced albums for more than 60 artists, including some arrested in this indictment. Now pay attention. This part is super duper important. And don't you forget, if you sleep, wake up and listen. Check this out. In July of 2008, DEA agents found a confidential informant. Remember this. They found a confidential informant. Remember that part. A confidential informant who led them to Miami. And an undercover agent made his first buy of 200 ecstasy pills in the Vallejo gas station parking lot. The agent gained Miami's trust, who allegedly introduced him to the large distribution ring, focusing on ecstasy with Transformers, Batman, and Lexus emblems, but also dealing just about every other drug, the DEA said. Miami allegedly told the undercover officer that he supplied marijuana to 2 Vallejo weed dispensaries. Miami ended up being arrested and charged with criminal conspiracy to distribute or intent to distribute ecstasy, marijuana, crack cocaine, heroin, oxycodone on various dates between 2008 and 2012. Next, Little Bruce. Now, Little Bruce be a part of an indictment from Thizz Entertainment is taboo as hell. And it's interesting. It's like a blood being indicted for being involved in a Crip enterprise. Here's why I say that. Back in the days when Mac Dre and rappers from the Crest side of Vallejo was dissing members of the Hill side of Vallejo like E40 and Sick With It Records, Little Bruce, who was E40's cousin, you heard me right, E40's cousin was dissing Mac Dre. You know, ride for his family on the Super Sick tape. But years later, Bruce fell out with E40 and started rocking with Mac Dre and ended up becoming tight with him. Bruce was arrested for allegedly trapping out of a phone store, using it for drug trafficking and as a front, and was also charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Now that part is up for debate. All of it is up for debate. It's all alleged. Next, Doobie, aka Sugar Wolf. Now I really respect Doobie. He's super loyal to Mac Dre to this day and continues to carry on his legacy. You can check out where he goes in depth talking about his experience with his whole Thizz buzz and Mac Dre. Along with Miami, Mac Dre and another rapper named PSD, Doobie was in a group called a Cutthroat Committee. He was basically Mac Dre's little homie, and they was from out the same hood, the Crest side. Doobie was arrested when he was suddenly pulled out of his mama house by some U.S. Marshals, FBI type mother suckers with rifles and shit. And was confused like, what the f going on? I ain't did nothing. In this Thizzler interview, he went on to say they put him in a cell next to partners from his hood. And they brought him to an interrogation room and wanted him to give up info on Miami. But Doobie stayed solid. Doobie was charged with criminal conspiracy to distribute or intent to distribute ecstasy and marijuana beginning in 2008 and distribution of a substance during 2010. Now, there was other people locked up in this Thizz ENT case. A rapper named Jeezy, another dude named Bodine, White Boy Nick, Black, and many more, but I don't really know who they is. I'm really doing this from memory, so yeah. Now, with the exception of these few people I said I didn't know much about, can you guess who told? I mentioned Miami. I mentioned Doobie. I told you he was solid. I mentioned PSD, who was on Cutthroat Committee. I mentioned Little Bruce, who was once an enemy at one point, but became cool with this. Can you guess who snitched? And who was the confidential informant that told on everybody? Mainly Doobie? If you guess PSD, you're right. Man, this one really hurt because I was a fan of this dude. And I really liked his style. I knew his raps word for word. But he told. The paperwork say PSD got caught in the airport boarding a plane with pills on him, allegedly. And after numerous undercover drug buys, hours of surveillance and recorded phone calls, the DEA pulled and popped PSD in December 2010. He told on Doobie and other associates, and Doobie figured it out after receiving paperwork through another friend. PSD also told the feds Thizz Entertainment's drug operation spread it way out to other states where they made music connections while on tour. They allegedly sold pounds of weed at marijuana dispensaries in Vallejo and other illegal drugs allegedly. Other drugs allegedly sold to informants was heroin, cocaine, crack, and ecstasy. Drug shipments were allegedly sent from Vallejo to Oklahoma City, New York, Atlanta, and Milwaukee. 25 individuals, including the CEO and numerous rappers associated with Thizz Entertainment, the label founded by his slain Vallejo rapper Mac Dre, have been charged on multiple drug counts of distributed ecstasy, cocaine, and heroin. In addition to the arrests, agents seized about 45,000 ecstasy pills, 4 pounds of crack, a half pound of heroin, and $200,000 in suspected drug profits, and forfeited about 230 acres of property valued at about $1 million. In addition, last Thursday, a number of search warrants led to the seizure of about 5 pounds of marijuana, a loaded firearm, a 2010 Audi A6, and an Audi S5. Agents seized $67,000 in Vallejo and $6,000 in Sacramento, authorities said. Wow. Now, I know this might not be as interesting to y'all, man, but I'm totally speechless, man. I see nobody else was brave enough to talk about it, man, but you know, hey, bro, that's where I come in, man. Now, the good thing about this is most of the people I mentioned is free. You know, they was snitched on, they was told on, but they free now. You know, but yeah, that was super duper crazy, man. And by the way, to all the bangers out there, if you waiting on some more gangbang videos, I'm gonna be dropping those real soon. I know y'all is steady waiting on that, man, and the Forgotten Hoods and all that. That'll be coming soon, man. I just ain't want to leave y'all with nothing, man. Just another reminder, man. Stay solo, man. Move smart. Keep your business to your lonely. Do your dirt by your lonely. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm out of here. Wiggins!